I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Oops, the podcast. I'm Julio, sitting with old Francisco himself.
I'm here.
There he is.
I'm on.
There he is. What's going on, dude?
I had a very good session with my therapist.
Oh, good.
And I only say that to impart some of the wisdom that she often imparts to me, because I think some of these things are very good. I had a day 2 days ago where I didn't do very much, and that really is hard for me.
What was it? Was it a weekday?
Yeah, a
Wow.
Monday.
Okay.
And
Did you have a big Sunday?
we cooked a lot together, and then we opened a bottle of wine, and then I smoked some pot.
Okay.
And therefore I woke up on Monday lethargic and committed to quitting weed forever.
It's a case of the Mondays.
And you know what I did is I rounded up every single marijuana device that I had in the house. Pens, edibles, joints, whatever I had. I put it in a little box, and then I buried it in our storage closet under the stairs, deep
just to like fully
in there.
So you had not been smoking regularly up until this point.
No, I had been.
Oh, so then why are you hiding it? Because now you've had too much. You've had it.
You know what it is, dude? It's that I do it too regularly because of how easily I access it.
Right.
And this is not a promise to actually quit weed for life. I've grown out of those ridiculous promises. I used to say like, that's it. And I'd throw everything out.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm like, I know I'm going to come back to this.
Yeah.
But I need to take a break, and I need to establish a slightly less frequent use of this. The problem is I had a weed drawer up in the kitchen, and every night I'd be like, well, it's right there.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's go, hit the pen and turn off the brain. And now I want my usage of this stuff to be more intentional. Mm-hmm. And in order to make it more intentional, I will have to intend to climb through boxes of Christmas ornaments and chairs and things that we're not using to get into the back of the storage area to get to it.
Over the river and through the woods.
Yeah, and since I did that, even though I know it's in the house, my urge to do it has gone to zero.
It's actually clever because it's so easy to access that it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll do it.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's not, you have to like really want it.
Out of sight, out of mind. Just That was all it took, man.
That's nice.
It's kind of pathetic.
That's good. What did the shrink say?
Well, we had this big day, or not big day. We had that, and then on Monday I woke up, and on Monday I did nothing. I really did nothing, and it made me so unhappy.
Yeah.
Because I say to myself, I'm a 32-year-old with a good brain for making interesting things that people seem to enjoy, and I did not further my career. I lost a day. Mm-hmm. I lost a day screwing around, watching YouTube videos. I read 140 pages of my book, which was solid, but I'm not on vacation.
Right.
What am I doing? I need to try harder. Mm-hmm. It was a lost day. And she said, sometimes it's okay to lose a day. She said that Charles Darwin only used to work 5 hours a day.
Wow.
Some of the great minds, these people who contributed the most to the world, worked less hard than we think they did.
Right.
She cited a few other names. Gabriel Garcia Marquez or whatever.
Interesting.
Was a 5 hour a day worker.
Interesting.
And it's fine, if you look back and because actually I'm just gonna read you some of the things because she put it down in writing for me, which I found really helpful. And then we'll get out of this because who is it? Wasting time might be, oh gosh, I've lost it. Sorry.
But dude, yeah, I think it's valuable advice. This happens to me sometimes too. Some days the day just gets away from me, and I had things that I should have been doing and I didn't, and it's okay, You're
very good though. You seem to get something done every day, dude.
I don't know.
You seem to have something that you can point to and say that was progress. I moved the needle.
And not always. And some days, even if I sort of do, I don't do it as much as I should have, and it makes me feel the way that you felt. So
Can I read this to you?
Please?
There will always be an endless list of chores to complete and work to do, and a culture of relentless productivity that tells us to get to it right away and feel terribly guilty about any time wasted. But the truth is, a life spent dutifully responding to emails is a dull one indeed, and wasted time is, in fact, highly fulfilling and necessary. When we spend so much time doing what we should do, there are no real breaks. There's no sleeping in, going for a long walk, or reading by the window. If we manage to do this, it comes with a looming awareness of the things we should be doing, and so the experience is weighed down by guilt. This happens to me fucking all the time. Wasting time might be about recharging your battery and decluttering. Taking time to be unproductive will ultimately make you better at what you want to do, but it's also fulfilling in and of itself. Even watching TV can be a transporting experience, but only if you relax and enjoy it. Walking around the block or simply doing nothing are moments to be embraced. They might be time well spent.
Yeah.
Like
Dude,
you can do nothing and it can be good.
I love it.
Charles Dickens, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and Charles Darwin had quite relaxed schedules, working for 5 hours a day or less. It's a fact. Work, and as she puts it, I should be doing this, expand to fill the time they are given.
I love it.
So anyway, she's got really interesting thoughts on that. And the good news is that the next day I really turned it around and had a very fulfilling day.
That's great. And there's something there too. Like a lot of the sort of like the more successful people that I know, they sort of adhere to like their own weird schedule. Like the pressure to sort of like be on the world clock doesn't seem to like affect them as much for a lot of these sort of like entrepreneur people that I know or whatever. So I always look to that and I kind of admire it a little bit because I personally feel that pressure. Like maybe it's because my girlfriend has a conventional schedule. I will say that since I've lived with her, I'm significantly more productive just because like I don't have anybody who's like trying to distract me.
Right.
I'm around a person who's busy and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. I can work too.
I will say that hearing Sierra and how hard she works and all the calls she's on, and I mean, I have to schedule time with her on a Google Calendar.
That's crazy.
If I want to have a lunch with her, or, talk about something for whatever, half an hour, wedding planning, whatever it is.
That's nuts.
But unfortunately, it has sort of the opposite effect on me.
It makes you want to work less.
That right there is 10 feet away through the door is somebody who's working the way that one should work. And the contrast of that weighs me down in my lack of drive.
Interesting.
It makes me feel even more marooned on an island of listlessness.
When I have bad days, I feel that way too. Dude, I'll say this. Sorry.
No, I got nothing. I'm just thinking about what you're saying.
Well, I was going to say, so my brother, I promise this ties into what we're talking about. My brother and I, a thing in adulthood that we've like kind of connected over is video games. I've never, as an adult, I haven't owned my own system. Video game system.
I'm too scared to.
Partially because I'm like, I don't want to waste time, but it's just never really called to me. I don't necessarily think that it's a waste of time. It certainly can be a distraction, but whatever. So he bought me a Nintendo Switch for my birthday, I think. Yeah. I got the Super Mario game. I played it. I loved it. Whatever. Then for Christmas, then I didn't get another game. But for Christmas, he got me another game. He got me Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is considered one of the best video games ever made. Mm-hmm. And dude, I cannot stop playing it.
Wait, is it that one specifically, or just Zelda in general is the greatest game ever?
Zelda Breath of the Wild specifically
for Nintendo Switch.
For Nintendo Switch is considered one of like the top, if not the top rated video game ever made.
Come on,
Chris. Yeah, Chris. It's one of.
What are the other greats? Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, is that up there?
It's got to be. I mean, I don't actually know. I feel like it's fair to assume maybe the Grand Theft Auto games, but this is it's like Grand Theft Auto. It's an open world game.
But it's Zelda.
It's Zelda, but it's not. It doesn't adhere. They changed it up. Apparently, my brother knows so much about video games. They apparently changed up the whole format to like make it more conducive with anybody. Like I don't know shit about the story of Zelda. This is the first time. Chris
I just typed in best games of all time, and it's the second one that shows up. So
that one,
yeah. Grand Theft Auto's first.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go. And they're very similar in the styles
Yeah.
of game. You can choose to do the missions. You can choose not to.
What about like Call of Duty? Is that on there?
Sure, that's gotta be in
And
there.
what about like Madden?
Grand Theft Auto, Zelda, Portal 2, Minecraft.
This
And then
seems
some
like a
other
very
ones.
subjective
This
thing
is-
to make of a
no,
list.
but like
This
there's
is very
criteria.
accurate.
There's like ratings
Yeah.
and shit.
Minecraft is the one
The
that.
best game ever.
Did you play that?
It's just never going to go away.
So
It's
my
gonna
dad,
exist forever.
my dad is really big on robotics
Yeah.
in schools, and he through his company would fund laptops for schools in Maine so that they could have develop robotics clubs, because he was all about programming and computer science and bringing that to young kids to get them started earlier.
Yeah.
And he said that Minecraft was a game that when kids would start playing that, it would develop them towards computer science skills where they would be light years ahead of anyone else who was starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Your dad's cool, dude.
He loves
This
that
is like the
stuff.
second or third nugget recently where I've just been like, damn, this guy's like a fucking innovator.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Well, one thing he said that was amazing was like he would go into these schools in Lewiston, Maine, and other sort of neighborhoods that just didn't have a lot of funding or whatever for their public school systems. And he would ask these teachers, what would it take to create a computer science program for your kids? And they were like, 2 laptops. And he's like, all right, how much does that cost? And they were like, $900. And they'd be like, and he'd be like, okay. And they were like, we can't, it's not within our budget. We tried. $900
Right,
is the
that's
difference
crazy. That's crazy.
between kids learning computer science or whatever and not.
Crazy.
And so he would, they donated laptops, used laptops, whatever. So
Dude, speaking of which, one of the NFTs that I own
Oh,
is
boy.
land in the Minecraft metaverse thing that I don't fully understand, but hoping that ends up being a big payday, baby.
love it. Good luck.
But dude, anyway, so Zelda is becoming a little bit of a problem. And specifically, like Hillary liked Mario, like she enjoyed hearing Mario, but she's getting real, like there was this one part of Zelda where I was trying to figure out how to like climb this mountain that I ended up not even needing to be able to climb. That I was working on for like 2 hours. I'm playing this game. I'm spending hours playing this game. Okay. And there's this sound of Link, who's the main character, going, climbing the thing. And she goes, why is he making that noise? What is that noise? She goes, and then like yesterday she had a long day and she comes out of the bedroom. She's finished working and I was playing, like I had finished doing my stuff too. And she goes, I can't fucking look at this game right now. And just like walks back into the bedroom. And I'm kind of like, is this going to become a problem for us? Like it might.
Yeah.
Zelda might become a problem.
I
for
don't
us.
think it's a great thing for her to see you playing video games.
But like, why? Like, dude, this is the thing. I've thought that too. And I'm like, I want to play video games.
Fine.
You know?
But let's,
You're right, you're right.
Let's switch that scenario. Let's say that instead of her walking out into the room and seeing you, lift Link up a ladder as he goes. Instead of that, she sees you reading a book. Fyodor Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment, or whatever, something not even that crazy.
Yeah.
I think her reaction goes from one of being like, I'm dating a child to ooh, this is cool. This is nice.
Yeah, no, yeah, agreed. But
Am I wrong?
No, you're right. But like, I'm not gonna just try to do a fucking brain over on myself. Like,
It doesn't have to
maybe
be
that's
that.
one of the good things about me is that
Maybe
I have
you're-
a childlike demeanor.
Maybe you're chopping carrots and cooking her dinner.
No, fine. I do thoughtful things for her.
I know you do.
You're right. You're right. There's better things that I can be doing than playing video games, but I'm really enjoying.
And I'm not even saying that this is I'm not saying it's a problem for your relationship. I'm just saying the optics from her of having not seen you for a long time, and that's her first sight, versus you're on the floor doing push-ups, or you're reading a book, or you're researching on your computer, you're on Wikipedia, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Is very different than
Dude, 100%.
holding a GameCube thing in your hands.
That is 100% true. I know all of that. But the idea. She knows I'm doing things. Like, you know what I mean? Like I have
Of
my
course.
editing station.
She
set
wouldn't
up.
be dating you if you
Right.
didn't do
If
if all you did was play video games. But even on a lesser level, if Sierra's coming home and I'm watching TV and I'm watching my guilty pleasure Summer House or something like that, and I know as soon as I know she's getting close, I
You'll
might
turn it
switch
off.
it to
Agreed.
like
Yes.
Hard Knocks.
I know.
Because seeing me watching a sports documentary or World War II in living color versus Summer House is
Yeah.
a difference in perception. And at this point in our relationships, we don't have to hide those things. We'd be fine,
Right.
but we could be half a percentage point better.
But it's important. You bring up an important point. It's important not to get too comfortable. I know what you're saying, and like if I know Hillary's on the way home, and if I've been playing Zelda, which by the way has only been happening for the last week because it's new. I just started playing it, but I will turn it off and like switch the HDMI back over to the Apple TV.
Yeah.
And just not really. We don't know if I was playing Zelda.
Oh.
Another funny thing though, dude, there's a couple of things that annoy her. One of them, so like in Zelda, there's this thing where like you can cook. So like you'll gather a bunch of shit and then you can cook it and it makes it better for you and like it fills up your lives, whatever. And I'll sit there and cook a bunch of shit. And then the sound is the same of him eating. It's just I should just hear it over and over and over. And the other thing, and I don't know why this happens in these games, but like in Mario, they do it too. But like when you're talking to somebody, they don't actually talk. You see the words. Why is that? Yeah, no, it'll just be like, da 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 da.
Because they didn't want to pay someone to have
that's
7,000 people talk those things
cutting
out.
a corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've told you that I'm credited as having been characters on
Red Dead, right?
Red Dead Redemption. And by the way, I always said that to people. I had my IMDb. I didn't even know this. I have an IMDb page,
Has it?
and my Red Dead credits are the only thing that are on there.
Dude, I have too. I've done a couple of I don't think they've come out yet, but I'm excited for them too.
Yeah,
Or at least hopefully I don't get cut or whatever. That's a fun little credit.
it is cool. It was a cool thing to do. The problem was I was really sick the day that I went and did it. I had a major stomach bug.
Shit.
And I was just really, I think I've told you this, when you go into the room and you strap on the suit with all of the sensors on
and
it,
shit.
if you need to go to the bathroom, every time that you go to the bathroom, you take the suit down, you go to the bathroom. It's a onesie, so
Crazy.
whether you're peeing or not, you have to take the whole thing off basically. But then to come back in, you have to recalibrate.
Oh my
With
God.
the cameras.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
they have to do a full sort of 360 degree view kind of scan. And it takes like 15 minutes.
Jesus.
And I had horrible diarrhea throughout the day.
When you're putting on the suit in the 360 degree room, diarrhea.
Yeah, and it was a nuisance if anyone had to go to the bathroom. It was a nuisance
Yeah,
to
that sucks.
the whole team working.
That sucks.
And so I was that guy, and I had to tell them. I was like, "Listen, I'm having a problem. I promise I'm not just like nipping
Being
off to take
annoying.
another meaningless piss."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so funny. I've only done the head set. I've never done the full body. That's
Yeah.
cool. That is really funny. Especially too, because they try to like make your session as fast as possible so they don't have to pay you more.
Right.
They're like, oh, this guy thinks he's.
Yeah. It was not very much money. I will say that. That gig was not as good of a gig as I would have liked for it to have been.
That's an interesting tidbit. Those video game gigs,
Yeah.
they're not.
Interesting. Is there something you do that you can pinpoint that Hillary really, really likes that makes her very attracted to you? What would you say is the thing that you do?
So this is funny that you say that. I'm gonna give this a little bit of a backstory to get to this. But over the holidays, we had a couple fun meals in Boston and the surrounding area, and during lunch, we were playing a couples game where we were asking each other's questions, and it made me like very. It was like very intimate. It like made me want to like fucking.
Find a
Maybe
little
want to. Hey, should we get out of here?
playing a couples game where you ask each other questions about each other.
Not sexually questions either, but a little. What do you say we hop in a back seat and you make a man out of me?
You bad boy. Oh.
But yeah, asking things like, "What's your favorite so and so about me?" Or like, if you look it up, you'll get these like 100 question. It's a really fun exercise. And anyway, she was answering some of the questions, and there were things that I like didn't really know she felt that way about me. And when she would say something, it like would make me feel really good, like things that impress her about me.
That's cool.
And like,
this is a great answer.
It's really fun. Yeah. So
What's the name of that game?
you should just Google it. Like the first one that comes up is this like Oprah 100 question. And like some of them are a little sexual. Like you can kind of pick and choose which questions you ask each other. But it's really fun. And it like, it's really nice. I really appreciate it anytime she'll tell me something that I do that like she is into or whatever. And I don't know. I don't want to answer because it will just sound like I'm like bragging about myself, I guess.
That's okay. You don't do that.
Well, but there are things that she'll say where I'll be like, "Oh, thanks. Like that's nice of you to say that." And sometimes there'll be things that I notice and I'm happy that I'm getting credit for them. And other times it's things that I didn't even like realize about myself, you know? And it's not stuff that as it relates to her, it's just about my personality. Like she'll be like, "The way you do this or how you do this is unique," or "I love the way that this or that." And it'll be, a lot of times it'll be really specific stuff, you know? So it's fun.
It is amazing how much I think women notice about us and without sharing.
Right.
Because I almost think that whenever I notice something about Sierra that I like, I tell her immediately. One, to make her feel good, but also because I'm proud of myself for having come up with, for having noticed something. And it's like almost I want credit for having observed that thing, which is so self-serving and like a dog, But I do know that Sierra just objectively likes me more right after I've gotten my hair cut. That's a very
clean look.
Every time I get my hair cut, she's just so much more attracted to me.
Funny.
So
She goes, "Ooh."
yeah,
She'll give you a little.
she'll pat me on the side. You look so good. You look so good.
Man, cute.
Yeah, and I always like to go out to dinner. We went out to dinner last night actually
Oh, nice.
to an amazing restaurant.
Where?
Dhamaka.
I've never heard of it.
It's an Indian restaurant made by this new food group called Unapologetic Indian or Unapologetically Indian.
I've heard of this. I think.
Yeah,
Were
so
you
they've-
telling me about this?
Might I have been?
Maybe at some point. I don't know.
They've been getting tons of hype,
Cool.
but it's in the Lower East Side. It's cheap.
Love it.
You don't have to wear. It's not fancy. Our dinner was like $90 for 2 people.
Did you drink?
Yeah, she had a beer, had a cocktail.
So to clarify, under $100 with drinking is impressive.
Yeah, and the portions are enormous, but every item on the menu is authentically Indian. It's not, which isn't to say that chicken tikka masala is not,
Right.
but it's not. You're not ordering. Oh, we're having Indian food tonight.
Right.
You're like, what is that?
Totally.
We had goat neck biryani.
Ooh.
And that's a very celebrated dish from Hyderabad.
Hyderabad.
Hyderabad?
Am I saying it wrong?
I don't know. I don't know how to say it.
It's one of those words I've only read and I've never said.
Yeah.
So I have no idea.
And so
how to say
they've
it.
got celebrated dishes from these things. Now, the reason I bring this up is because something interesting happened at this restaurant. 2 interesting things happened. The first was, you get brought in. All the serving staff is wearing masks, and then I'm seeing, our guy is explaining the dishes to us. We have no idea what to order. So he's walking us through, doing a great job, but he's got a pretty thick accent, understandably, and he's also got a mask on.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little hard to kind of hear everything. The restaurant's bustling, music's blasting, so I'm kind of getting a little overwhelmed. And I think there was a guy. This guy leaves, and then this guy came over who was not wearing a mask and was tall, and was like, "Can I help you?" And it was as if he'd watched the whole thing. And this guy exuded an air of knowledge and confidence, such that I had no other assumption to make other than that he was the owner of the restaurant.
Okay.
And I said, "Oh, is this your restaurant?" He goes, "A bunch of people own it."
Okay.
Which is humble speak for yes.
Yes.
And it turned out he was the executive chef and one of the owners,
sick, dude.
which we found out from the next waiter that talked to us. But I said to this guy, we don't know what to order. this is something we were recommended, the goat neck biryani as being the signature dish here, but he said it was pretty spicy. I do okay with spice. I'm not great. I'm a little bit of a wimp. I said that. And he goes, we have a word or something here where we call it this, which means like an explosion of spice and flavor. You need this in order to get the full experience of the authentic food. And it was almost like a defensive answer.
Interesting.
Like, what are you doing here if you don't like spice?
Interesting.
We're not backing off anymore.
Interesting.
And
So you're in a good spot.
Yeah, he walked away, and I remember thinking, like, Jesus, like, I asked the wrong question, And it is something of their restaurant where they are very proud of how spicy they are. But we ordered it. It was spicy. I did fine. Sierra thought it was too spicy.
Interesting.
And she has typically had a much higher threshold for spice than I do.
I wonder if your exchange with that guy immediately upped your spice tolerance temporarily.
Dude,
you're like Zelda, drinking the heat elixir.
I 2 bites in, I took my sweatshirt off. I was wearing a sweater, and I tackled this dish as if it was an athletic exercise.
Awesome.
And I was challenging myself to eat it.
Awesome.
And it was exhilarating. I was sweating.
That's fun, dude.
My nose was pouring.
I love it.
They brought me one of those mango drinks.
Lassi?
Yes.
Yeah.
To help quell the flames.
Yeah, hell yeah. Dude,
But
that
I
sounds great.
powered through.
You know who doesn't like spice that much? Our pal Chris Christopherson over here.
Does he not?
He's not a big spice guy.
No?
We Italians have delicate tongues.
I try, but it's just I never ate it growing up. So now when I eat it, it's just like
It's
I
acquired.
like buffalo sauce. I love the taste of it, but it's just like I'm just dying the whole time.
Dude, you can ease your way in though.
No, I'm
was
getting
not
way
someone who
better.
I could not handle spice my whole life.
Yeah.
The whole life. And now I've started to get into it.
Yeah, no, I am as well. I'm like slowly starting. Yeah,
I will add Indian spice. I have a much better ability to handle than like
Hot sauce? or
than
whatever?
I was gonna say Mexican food
Oh,
that's
interesting.
spicy.
Interesting.
Peppers, like the peppers they use in Mexican food that are really spicy, are so much harder for me than whatever they're using in Indian food.
Interesting.
Indian food is spicy, but then if you step back for a second, it dies down.
It's a different spice.
Mexican food stays on your mouth and your tongue and builds
Yeah.
for until you're 10 blocks away.
It's almost like sound. Like when you edit sound, there's a way to make the sound pan. And like Indian spice is like surround spice, and Mexican spice is like direct hit spice.
Yeah. Listen to all these great ways that we're describing spice. I hope you appreciate that at home.
This sounds like fucking the Will Smith show. The
yeah.
spice. Dude, it's funny, like spice. So my family does not like spicy food. Like they'll think things are spicy that doesn't taste spicy to me. And I didn't grow up with it either, like Chris. But one weekend, my Uncle Tony watched us and we went and got a pizza and he sprinkled some like pepperoncini on it. And then I started doing that. And my parents were like, fucking Tony. May he rest in peace. But he's like, he hangs out with you for 1 week and he gives you that habit. But then from there, I started really liking spice. And dude, I now love spice to the point, there's some things about it that I really like. You can't eat it too fast because it's too spicy. So it makes you enjoy it. And like, there's nothing I enjoy more than ordering a Thai curry, a really spicy one, and eating the whole thing. And by the time I'm done, if I eat it fast enough, I'm sweating through my shirt. The feeling that gives me is so exhilarating.
Yeah.
I've really grown to
People
love
say
spice.
that there's almost a sexual, you get excited. There's an endorphin thing with spice.
It's
People
awesome.
get turned on from eating it.
I believe it, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I was in New Mexico. I know I've talked about this before, but I worked a weekend at a chili stand. Tim, the hedge fund guy, his family owns this seasonal chili business that's been in the family. And people will come and they get like a fucking duffel bag worth of chili that lasts them the entire season. They freeze it. And bro, the chili was not chili as I know it. It's not like meat and onions. It's like just these peppers that you like peel and skin and then like you chop them up and you put a little garlic or whatever. I forget how to prepare them. But then, bro, they bring it with them. When they go out to eat, they bring a bag of their own chili.
Oh my God.
And dude, the spice is so unique. It's this thing where like you'll eat it and then like you'll go to bed and you'll just have warmth in your chest. And I'm like, what is that? It's not heartburn. It's just this warmth. And then I remember Tim's dad was like, yeah, that's that chilly burn. He's like, it's like a warm sweater, isn't it? I was like, oh my God, dude, that's crazy.
I don't know. That doesn't sound very good for my insides.
It's delicious though. And they were bragging about all the vitamin C, all the shit, whatever. But to your point, spice, fascinating topic.
Yeah.
Question for you.
Cool.
What was the name of the restaurant and specifically where was it on the
Damica.
Oh, sorry.
Lower East Side.
Do you remember where?
Yeah, right on. Fuck. I mean, do you know where the Essex Street Market is?
Yeah. Okay. So like Essex Delancey area.
That it's in the Essex Street
cool.
Market.
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were doing stuff like
It's
that.
right in
there.
the front though. It's
Cool.
not. I mean, you walk in and if you go into the market, you
Essex
miss
Street
it.
Market's weird.
It is weird.
It's sort of it feels like a traditional like market that you'd go into another country and like
Yeah.
the setup at least.
They got some cool stuff, but they've got some moody stall proprietors. They've got some very judgmental, tempered people.
Dude, so dude, I used to live in a Bengali neighborhood in Brooklyn, and they had all these restaurants, and I'd go in there, and I kind of grew to like the food until I realized that I was being overcharged. Like they had to like, if you were Bengali, you got charged less,
Really?
which is fine in general, I guess, except for the fact that I'm the only non-Bengali going, so I'm the only person paying more. Which is like really ended up becoming a little frustrating. But dude, I try to like joke around with these guys, and sometimes the language divide would just like take away the subtlety, and it would be funny to see them like not understand my obvious joke. So like I'd go to the restaurant, and there would be these big restaurants, and there'd be no one in the restaurant. So I'd make a joke. I'd be like, "Oh, you think that you guys can squeeze me in? Like, is there a table for me?"
Yeah.
And the guy would just go, "Yes." I'm like, dude, that was very obvious, dude. I was like, never mind, fuck it. But it was fun. It was fun living in that neighborhood. It's good. Dude, so we were talking about chronoptimism.
Yes.
So I wonder what the name of the term is for the same thing, but for being hungover. Like where you did an entire day of tasks hungover. You were so hungover. And you happen to get through the day, and now you just think that you can get that fucked up and still get through your day.
Oh, that's a very good one.
That's interesting, right?
That's a good one, Julio.
It is a thing.
That's nice. Yeah. I know what you mean. And
In my tennis teaching days, dude, I would do that.
that's
It would be bad.
absolutely the spot. It's like the one time where you went to a morning flight having not slept a single minute.
Yes, and it was
then
fine.
you flew and you got home and you survived it. So you thought, I never need,
yeah.
7 a.m. flight. I can go to bed
I'm
at
good.
3. No big deal.
Yeah,
And
nope.
the stars do not align every time.
I know. It's a crazy thing.
That
we're
is a good
thinking
one.
about.
We should come up with a term for that. Yeah. Hungover, optimism.
Hung-optimist?
Yeah. Dustimism. That's what my friends call it when you're super dust, right?
Oh, like when you're exhausted?
When you're just like, whether it's exhausted or hungover or just really incapable.
Doing
I have
anything.
friends who, we used to get so fucked up that like the whole next day they wouldn't leave their bed and they would deliver food and tell a roommate to like open the door, and then they'd instruct the delivery person to bring it up to their bedroom. And they'd tip extra. But that if the guy didn't bring it all the way to their bed, they wouldn't be happy.
Dude, that's really funny. I wonder about that sometimes. I wonder if I think that I now have more trouble recovering from a hangover than I used to, but I wonder if that's true.
I definitely do. But I also don't get hungover anymore because I don't drink enough too, because I'm so scared of it.
But think about this. Like when we were younger, you would sleep till like 2:00 or something. I don't know if you ever did that, if you did or didn't do that, but I would do that sometimes.
I would sleep till 12:31 when I
Right.
was a teenager.
And I'd wake up fine, feeling fine. But I would not feel fine today doing that, I don't think. But then I'm like, am I just wrong? Like, do I just have more responsibilities now? Or is the hangover being worse as you get older like a product of the sort of development of your life and your priorities, or are you just physically actually more
No, I
hungover?
think there's a physical thing
Has to be,
where
right?
our bodies are just more resilient when we're young.
Yeah.
They are able to dispel the evils of our bad decisions more readily. and now they lie. They stay with you. I have a friend who we developed, like, if you felt really, really shitty, you would call it POMD. I'm POMD today, which is when, he'd be so hungover from Saturday that he would take a sick day on Monday. Like,
what does POMD stand for?
well, his name starts with a P.
Okay.
And it's his name on a Monday. Monday day. I'm taking a blank on a Monday day.
That's
if
funny.
if you were so banged up still on Monday from Saturday that you couldn't go to work and you'd call in sick, you were POMD.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
But dude, it's funny. That is so real. And I tend to have the kind of Mondays that you were describing at the beginning of the episode when I'm POMD, like when I go too hard Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Monday. So then I developed this idea that it's way better to go much harder on Friday night. But I started to realize that sort of the gods of partying don't allow you to plan for that well enough. So there's no point in even attempting to be like, well, Friday night I'm gonna, you know what I mean? The nature of partying is not overly planning it.
Right.
In a way.
Sierra, it's interesting. I said to her, because I was filling out my avails for a comedy club, and I said, would you prefer, if I were to fill in that I could do shows on a Friday or a Saturday, which of those two nights would you rather that I be available to hang? And she said, definitely Saturday.
Interesting.
She said, I don't like to go out on Fridays at all.
Maybe because she's too tired
She's
from the
too
work
tired
week.
from work.
Yeah.
But I said, that's interesting because I'd much rather go out on a Friday than a Saturday.
Yeah, same.
Because if you go out on a Friday, you have all day Saturday and Sunday to recover
Totally.
from it. And you still feel like you've had a good weekend.
Totally.
So that's going to be something that we're going to have to work through. For sure.
That's funny, dude. Dude, I had this preposterous kind of text conversation with my brother, which isn't unusual. Like, we tend to talk about, he'll make some really obscure reference that's pretty funny to me. We sort of it's like a brotherly thing, you can kind of tap into each other's whatever. But we had this conversation. I thought it was pretty funny. And I'm like, is this funny or is this just stupid? But I think the way that he said this, he had intended for it to become a discussion topic. Anyway, so he goes, imagine a guy who shaves his head, but leaves the neck scruff. He's like, the hair your barber usually shaves at the end. And I was like, ha ha ha. Then he goes, then you hold him down and shave it off like a few good men. And I put in quotes. I was like, get over here, you rascal. He goes, wouldn't that annoy you though? And I'm like, who am I in the scenario? He goes, the guy watching another guy live his life with that haircut. And I'm like, I guess it might annoy me. Yeah, but shaving it for him might feel really good. He goes, yeah, but he won't let you is the thing.
What is this? What is this?
Then I go, then yes, that's extremely frustrating. He goes, yeah. And then he goes, yeah, no one's ever had that haircut to my knowledge though. And that was the end of the conversation.
This is you and your brother?
Yes. Is that insane?
How many people? Where would that have come from?
I have no idea. I don't know where he came up with that, but he'll come up with these scenarios that are he'll call it refreshing, and they're funny. They're just he goes imagine, dude, I don't even know.
No, I guess I kind of get it. Some people's brains work that way, and they add value to the world. Absolutely, but it is bizarre.
Another thing he'll say, how much do you hate? And then he'll say a scenario that's never happened, but it sort of makes sense. That he'll be like, how much do you hate when you're skiing with somebody down a mountain and at the bottom of the mountain, once you've already arrived, when they arrive, they stop abruptly and blow snow in your face just to intimidate you. I was like, dude.
Yes, I don't like that, but that has happened. That's a gag that people do.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Dude,
It's
love
good hockey players will
Good to
spray
know.
ice shavings in the face of the goalie too.
Just of the other team.
Whatever. It's just like a bully move. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
All right, I got something interesting here. I got something interesting for you. So, a listener sent us an interesting DM about last episode. We talked about manly injuries, right, and
yes.
bleeding,
Yes.
and but not having it be actually bad, so that everyone thinks it's bad, and you get all the bonus points for being tough. So this is Ryan. Back in college, I played Division III lacrosse. I played long pole, and in the beginning of a game, I took a shot to the back coming across the crease. A shot hit him in the back. About 20 seconds later, I started vomiting pure blood. Handfuls of it.
Oh my God.
After I went down, the trainer took me off the field and I was brought to the hospital in an ambulance. The entire 15-minute ride coming to terms with the chance I might die because people who have that much blood coming out of their mouth usually die.
Oh my God.
Luckily, after a couple hours in the hospital and no real emergency care given, the doctor told me I had a bruised lung.
Oy.
It's basically the same as any other bruise. It was just internal, so my lungs had to naturally evacuate the blood pooling.
I'm sorry for laughing initially. Like that was my initial reaction, was hysterically laughing. Started vomiting blood. I don't know, whatever, sorry.
By your standard, it looked terrible. People thought I was dying, and I got a ton of street cred for the fact that I played about a minute while throwing up blood. But it made the campus rounds what had happened. To Julio's point, it healed fast. It was really just a bruise, so I had to set out of practice and games for a week. But after that, there was no pain, issues, or lasting problems. That's a really good one,
That's
Ryan.
a really fucking good one, dude.
That's a good one. I say that's a good one. You're going to the hospital thinking you're going to die.
That's true. That's the one downside here.
Vomiting blood is really dramatic. It doesn't matter if you're not in that much of a life, injury situation. That's a really unpleasant. That's kind of worse than if I've got a cut on my shin and I don't notice it.
True, but he makes a funny point. Like, vomiting blood is typically like the last thing you do. Like if you're vomiting blood, it's not a good sign.
No. No. Most people that vomit blood,
it's done. You're done.
Yeah, are not saying goodbye.
Oh man. I do think that's a good example though. Like, while your point is definitely valid of the fact that thinking you're going to die is not chill, the fact that there was like very little sort of side effects and a very quick recovery, he just became the man.
Everyone likes you more when you're hurt.
Yeah.
Everyone likes him. He's a hero
He's
somehow.
a hero.
Do you know?
Yeah.
And for a while, unfortunately, there's no cast that you can wear for vomiting blood.
That's true.
To remind everyone.
That you're
no
hurt.
one can sign your lung, your bruised lung. But still, very, very noble injury. That's a good manly medieval
That is
injury
very
to
good.
take
That is very good.
for sure.
Dude, I have a question for you.
Sure.
About t-shirts, about t-shirt wearing.
Okay.
Is there do you have a rule as far as, I've started to realize that perhaps I'm a little extreme with my t-shirt policy, being that, and my brother, again, this is another way that me and my brother are similar. I'll tell you why after this, but I'm always afraid that my t-shirts, I'm going to sweat, and I'm afraid that I'm going to smell, even though I don't think I do. And I don't think I'm a smelly person, but after I wear a t-shirt once, even if I barely wear it, I will automatically throw it in the laundry. And is that wrong?
How long? What if you wore that T-shirt, let's say, for an hour of just hanging out inside? Would you throw that in the laundry?
That one, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
If it goes outside, it's going in the laundry. Even if it's just for a tiny bit.
Yes.
Or if I wear it half a day, or if I put it in the laundry immediately.
I'm in the same position. I do exactly what
good,
you do.
good,
Your
good.
brother doesn't wash his T-shirts?
No, but my brother is, no, he does. But he also must have been at some point sort of worried about some sort of related thing. Because at one point he did this thing where he would walk. If he was wearing a shirt that he thought was sweat stain prone, he would actually walk with his arms slightly extended. And it was so subtle that I didn't want to call him out on it, because I was maybe he doesn't notice he's doing that. I don't want to make him feel self-conscious. So I never said anything. And one day it came to light that the purpose of him doing that was to prevent pit stainage from occurring.
Yeah, that's funny.
And it was pretty fucking funny.
That is funny.
Definitely something that I have thought about before.
Good for him. That's a nice. He walked with invisible lat syndrome.
Yes.
You know about that?
You're just too jacked.
Where you think, but you're not. But you walk with your arms away from your body as if your lats are so big that you can't hold your arms flush to your sides.
Invisible lat syndrome. That's
ILS,
good.
yeah.
Dude, I haven't done this yet, and I wanted to take the time to do it. I want to thank you for having your wedding in America.
Oh.
Because as it stands, and I actually just got a request for my email or something. Actually, I should double check what he said. But so maybe a 5th one coming, and then the 6th one I can't make it to. But out of the 4 that I currently am going to, 3 of them are not in the country.
Oh my God.
75% of my weddings are international.
How many do you have so far this summer? This is all this summer?
No, this is this upcoming year. So
Yeah.
I have one in March in Mexico. I have one in June in Budapest in Hungary.
Ooh.
And then I have one in July in Italy. And then I have yours in August, but yours
See,
is
the Budapest, Italy is what's going to kill you.
money wise, or just
Going to Europe so close, but not close enough to be able to stay.
so. This is what we're doing because okay, so Budapest is a very close friend, and that's going to be a quick-ish trip. We'll take that overnight flight, we'll stay for a few nights, whatever, come back. But for the July, we're going to turn it into a trip where the wedding will become the destination.
Interesting.
So we'll go a couple other places, make it like a week-long thing.
You're going to go to Italy. You're going to bounce
We're
around
gonna-
Italy?
We're going to end up in Italy. We're going to start, I think, maybe like Croatia
Wow.
and just kind of drive to Italy.
Whew.
But like-
Unreal.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. That's like the plan
That's
to
cool.
spice it up a little bit.
I get that. Make sure you're not too weddinged out.
Dude, I'm ready
We
for
need
yours,
you
baby.
guys to be spring chickens.
No,
for
no, no,
ours.
dude. I don't get weddinged out. I like
So you
famous
say.
last words. Okay.
So you say.
So okay, I realize that it's gonna be an expensive year for weddings and whatever. I'm willing to accept that. But the way I'm looking at it is it's like it's all gonna be either close friends or new experiences or whatever. So like I think they'll all be great. But throw 3 or 4 more in there. I'm sure I'll start bitching.
Is there what is your threshold for saying no to a wedding? What makes you decide to turn one down?
Well, if I just physically can't make it, like there's one in the end of April where I'm supposed to be shooting something, so I can't do it, so I can't go to that one.
If I don't want to implicate or anything, but I was gonna say let's say that was
This
a
guy's-
really
he's-
close friend.
He's a good friend. He's not like he's a good friend. I don't think either of us would call each other's best friends.
Yeah.
However, in this particular situation, I don't think I would be able to not do the work thing. It's too like rare of a thing.
So even if you were like in the wedding, you would have to do the work thing.
I wouldn't be able to do this one. Wow. Specifically. But dude, 95% of work things could be worked around.
Yeah.
It's not a thing that it's like a commercial. Like I would forego a commercial for one of my closest friends.
Wow.
Even if it's like
That turns that into like a $10,000+ wedding for you.
much more. If it goes the way it's supposed to.
Man, dude.
Like I would say baseline, you're gonna make at least, so if that commercial happens and it airs in the slightest possible way, that's like $20K
20
at least.
Yeah.
So for like my closest friend, I would consider foregoing that. But when it's like a real work thing, that's like, I know a commercial is money, but like a career builder work thing, it's like you have to do it.
Yeah.
Lightning doesn't always strike, So whatever. But my threshold for saying no, dude, I'll say no. And when I was younger, I used to say no all the time because I just couldn't afford it. I just couldn't go.
Yeah.
A friend got married in Texas. I couldn't go. I didn't have any money. I was like, I can't go to that, dude. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And the
How
thing
fun. That would be a fun way to say.
so you know what's
No.
funny? I was too embarrassed to say that. So I'd rather seem like a dick than admit that I don't have any money, which is like shitty. So he probably just thinks I'm a dick.
I would love to tell one of my friends right now, I can't come to your wedding. I can't afford it.
Yeah.
Even though they know I can.
Well, yeah.
Because
so-
then it's on them. I mean, that would be kind of a dick thing.
yeah, that's a dick move.
I take that back.
But dude, okay, the threshold for accepting or canceling, there's a couple things that go into it. So it's like, A, how close are you to the person? B, how fucking fun is it going to be? You know what I mean? If it's
This is our wedding category. We had the system.
Oh, I forgot about what it is. I
The
forgot
point
about
system.
the point system.
Yeah.
No, but the point system applies to your own personal wedding score as opposed to this. This is a different system. This is the should I go to this wedding system.
No, it
Really?
applies. That's what that was.
I thought that was like, okay, what's your wedding score versus my wedding score?
No.
Are you
It was
sure?
always should you go or not.
The way that I recall, and maybe we've had this conversation a couple times, or maybe we were just having the same conversation differently. I read it as you and I were competing who who has a higher wedding score this year? Meaning, how many points are the wedding that you are going to worth?
Oh,
and
interesting.
why? You're traveling for it. You're groomsman. It's an entire weekend.
That was one conversation we had. But
And so there's a different one.
Yeah,
a friend
they're
of mine,
two different.
Got it.
two
Yeah.
different
Got it.
conversations.
friend of mine had the other system of like helping you
to know.
determine if you should go or not.
Got it.
And it was like how much do you like these people? How sick will the wedding be?
Yeah.
Do you get to see, how often do you get to see them?
Right.
Stuff like that.
Interesting. So anyway, yeah. So towards that end, it's like, for me, it's like, okay, if it's a place that's really cool, or if it's like going to be a new experience, or if, whatever, there's things that go into it that'll make me say yes to something that I might have said no to. But dude, when it all boils down to it, it's like, if you can't, you can't. And if people are mad, they're mad, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't make everybody happy. So that's what it is.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, interesting year. You've got a lot of weddings coming up. I do not have too many, fortunately.
Besides your own, which of course is the ultimate,
Yeah.
which I can't wait for, by the way. So excited.
Should be fun.
And it's also nice to know that you're going on a 2-week honeymoon, because I will plan to go
we're
shoot
gonna have
something
to.
during that time.
Yeah, we'll have to do
That's fun.
some bangs, some eppies.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, that's all.
Should we do an email?
Oh yeah, let's do an email.
Okay. Quick email ski, and here we go. Chris, what's up?
Chris was like, "We're done. We've done enough."
Yes.
We'll
do
keep
an email
going.
here. This
We'll
is a nice
keep
way to tie
going.
the bow.
Yeah.
This is called Anniversary Gifts and Clingy Ex-Coworker. What's up, fellas? Julio, say what it is that gets Francis panties in a wad. Okay. Insert. Love the podcast, guys.
Hey, you know what? Tell this guy to shut the fuck up. Who says "was up" in this day and age? That was dead after.
Was up.
Nobody says that anymore, loser.
That's a good way to age yourself. What's up? All right, just fucking around. Next month is the 1-year anniversary for me and my girlfriend. We are serious, and after she graduates, she will be moving in with me. We communicate very openly, and we started talking about our anniversary, and of course, gifts became a topic. She said the anniversary gift should be sentimental, or an event like a concert or night at an art museum. I already bought her a nice necklace that she said she wanted a few months ago. I just got it yesterday, 3 weeks till the anniversary. Should I save the nice necklace for another time? Say Christmas, since it's right around the corner, or do I give it to her now? Or do I pivot and go with something more sentimental? What is an appropriate sentimental gift? Rose petals in the bedroom with me naked on the bed, a tastefully sexy picture. Please help me. So it sounds like there's a couple of questions here.
I would save it, and that way you can take her to the art museum if that's a thing.
Yeah.
For the, or whatever, a concert, something like that. That's a fun night for the anniversary, to celebrate the anniversary. But more importantly, it saves you money, because
Yeah.
then you don't have to buy a Christmas present, and you use the necklace for that.
So I realized that this is dated in October. So, dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We just get a ton of emails, and we save the good ones to get to them eventually. So we're sorry that this isn't timely advice.
Well, I'm curious.
We'll be curious to what you ended up doing.
What he did. Yeah.
Let us know.
I would have saved the necklace, but it takes a lot of willpower. When I have a gift to give somebody that I'm excited about, I want to give it to. I can't even make it to their birthday typically.
Yeah, no, same. I get so psyched.
I get
I'm
so
like,
psyched if I've got a really
hole in
good
my pocket.
gift. Yeah.
I think but sentimental gift, it's easy. Just take her somewhere that is a memory for you guys. Like the first place you did this or that. And something that she'll remember, of course. And if you sit there and think about it for 10 minutes, you'll come up with something. It doesn't have to be rose petals. I would actually argue that rose petals isn't sentimental, it's romantic.
Yeah, that's
conventionally speaking.
Unless, they met in a rose garden.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, good luck with that. I hope that answers the question. We'll answer this other one too quickly, since he has to, because this one's kind of good too.
Damn, dude, Chris is trying to get out of here.
Also need advice for the workplace. When I first started my new job about a year ago, my desk mate was the first person I got to know, as it happens. We thought we had a lot in common at first, but as time went on, my opinion changed. That tends to happen with the
isn't
first
that
new
amazing?
person you meet.
Isn't that amazing how often that happens?
Yeah, like first person you met at college.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You're just so excited. You think, oh, this is my best friend. Where have you been all my life? And 3 weeks later, you're like, oh, you keep your toenail clippings? For what?
As time went on, she would vent to me about office drama. Personally, I could care less. I come to work, take care of my business, and go home. I'm not here to make friends. She would text and call me hours after work crying about something that happened at work. She later told me she loved me like a brother. As I said, I would say we were friendly, but not friends. She has quit since, but won't leave me alone. She even went as far as calling me out for not always replying. Am I an asshole for ignoring her?
No. What is going on? This is not, there's no romance here, right? They're just
No.
friends.
I mean, it sounds like her saying she loves him as a brother.
That's
Maybe his denial.
ultimate friend zone wording, right?
But it's also ultimate
he's-
denial wording. If he clearly has no feelings for her and she's like, I love you like a brother.
Lilab.
Wait, what?
Lilab?
What's that?
Love you like a brother?
Oh, wow.
Something we used to type to each other on AOL Instant
Lilab.
Messenger.
I like that.
Lilas was love you like a sis. So
Love it. Lilab.
I think this guy needs to cut ties with this Looney Tune.
Yeah, I think it's okay to be like, listen, like, I feel like this is sort of like inappropriate, violation of our boundaries. Like, it's you coming to me with your problems, and like, I don't do that to you. And like,
It also sounds like he's not that pumped about her anymore as a friend, you know?
Yeah.
And so this is her showing her true colors. The world is full of good people. You don't have to hang on to people that just don't uphold their end of the bargain of friendship.
I agree. I think for just because this is a person you met in the workplace, and this might be completely wrong, but it seems like there might be some value to getting it to a point where where things seem normal. And I think having a direct conversation with her might be a good way to do that, as opposed to just like completely ghosting her.
True. Yeah, you should try the
Maybe.
nice way. And if she's not willing to have that, then you're just going to have to burn that bridge.
BTB.
Blow it up. Yeah. Awesome. Take us out.
Oops, the podcast. You know us. Hopefully you love us. We love you. We're going to keep pumping out some cool, fun stuff. We're going to have some more merch coming out, probably closer to the spring, but it'll be like a nice, proper, comprehensive drop. If there's any sort of like things that you're interested in or things that you would like to see in that, please let us know as we develop the collection. And we hope to have some more fun stuff coming up. We're going to be doing some more kind of like YouTube content. Keep your eyes peeled for that. And we're excited to keep growing and spending more time with you guys. I'm at Julio. He's at Francis CCL. We have some dates coming up, right?
Yeah, I'm at Bananas in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey. That's going to be February 8th and 9th. And then I'm going to be at Gotham. Wait, hold on a second. Let me double check that. I'm also at Gotham Comedy Club, April 8th and 9th. That's a big New York show. The February shows at Bananas are on Bananas. February 18th and 19th. Tickets at francisellis.com.
Awesome. And yeah, I'm going to be at Denver Comedy Works with Rahi Velez, 3/31 through 4/2. I might hop on a couple other legs of his little tour as well. We're kind of figuring it out still. Hope to have some of my own dates too. And we hope to add some more for Oops as well. We'll keep you posted. That is all for now. Talk to you soon.